If you're tired of dragging yourself out of bed and having midday crashes, you should try this daily routine. In this video, I'm going to walk you through an optimal daily routine for high energy and what to do when energy is low. Remember, it's all about balance. Hi, I'm Dr. Haley, a licensed naturopathic doctor, helping people just like you reclaim their natural energy levels and feel better than ever before. I assume you're watching this video because you haven't been able to get the answers on why your energy is chronically low and won't budge. I'm here to answer them. Let's dive in. The blueprint for natural energy is actually quite simple on paper, but with busy lives and packed schedules, it can feel daunting to drop into these foundations. While most people start with talking about the morning routine, the top of the day, when they're talking about an optimal daily routine, I like to actually start with the night before, so around dinner time. Because when we align our evening routine, our morning routine and energy will flow much more naturally. It doesn't matter how early you wake up, it matters what you do the night before. So let's start with that. For your last meal of the day, I recommend that it be 3 to 4 hours before bed. This should be a complete meal with balanced protein, carbohydrates, fiber, and healthy fats, around sunset, or in most cases, before 6 p.m. So depending on what time you eat dinner, this is typically around sunset. So whether sunset is happening before you're eating dinner or after you're eating dinner, I highly recommend going outside for 10 minutes to get natural light exposure onto your eyes and really just watch the sunset and the day shift into night. This will help balance your circadian rhythm, your hormones, your sleep quality, and it is really nice, right? Like if you have a beautiful sunset, then what's not to love about that? So do that either before or after dinner, whatever works. Ideally, I like to eat dinner and then go for a walk while the sun is setting. I think that's really lovely, but it doesn't always happen. So the time after dinner is what I like to think about as flex time. So after I eat, I always go on a walk, and this helps balance blood sugar and promote healthy digestion. And if you can't go for a walk, you can also just have a quick little dance party in your living room with your family or your partner. There are so many fun ways to move that don't require putting on your shoes and your parka, because I'm in Minnesota in the winter and it is so cold. You can still move your body without having to jump through all the hurdles of going out into the dead of winter, depending on where you live. So like I said, this 6 to 8 p.m. window is sort of like a flex time, right? You can do creative things, play instruments, play board games, read a book, do your laundry if you need to. It's really like this unwinding space before what I like to call deep downtime, that you can do anything, right? In the summer and springtime, maybe it's doing an activity outside, playing pickleball, or going for a long walk around the lake, whatever it is. This is that free time, right? Whenever we have structured days most of the time, it's nice to know that there's a chunk of our day that we can do whatever we want. Whatever you do during this time, try to relax and just unwind. I like to make sure that I close down all of my work around 4 p.m. because anything after that, it just stimulates my brain too much to be thinking about work late at night, and then it impacts my sleep. As we near closer to bedtime, which is around 9 to 10 in my house, I like to put the house to bed, is what I call it. So this is where I tidy things up, put dishes away, put things away that I got out throughout the day to work or brainstorm or whatever, and just sort of make the house tidy, and then also prepare for tomorrow. So I do a quick check-in of what I did today, what I plan to do tomorrow, what I'm going to wear tomorrow, and kind of think about what I'm going to eat throughout the day too, just so the next day is really easy and I don't have to make a lot of decisions as I go through the day if something pops up unexpected that I don't want to get derailed. So that takes 10 to 15 minutes to put the house to bed and prepare for tomorrow. And then 8 to 8:30 is what I call deep downtime. So this is turning down all the lights if you can dim your lights, lighting candles if you have beeswax candles, and really just making the house kind of serene, quiet, calming, no screens. So try to shut down all computers and cell phone screens around this time and let your mind and your body rest. So for me, this looks like reading, putting the house to bed, like I said, and just getting ready for sleep. So I've found that I can't just go, 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 and then jump into bed and fall asleep. Like, that's not how I work. I don't imagine that's how your body wants to work either. And I'm sure I could find some studies to support this, but having that wind down routine actually helps us shift more into a parasympathetic state before sleeping. Okay, so like I said, around 9 p.m. I start getting ready for bed. And this is when I stretch, when I journal, when I meditate with my partner, when I really start to wrap up the day and take care of myself more, right? So I take care of myself throughout the entire day, but this is when I really resource myself back to me and my body and express gratitude, pray, sit in silence, sit in front of a red light, whatever concoction I want to dream up that night. But an hour before I'm going to close my eyes, I've got no screens going on, and I'm really intentional about what I'm doing with that time. So I have a rule, and we both try to abide by it in our house, but I'm kind of a stickler for rules. It's my own personal kryptonite and skill, I guess. But my rule is eye mask on by 10. So Kevin and I both sleep with eye mask on, earplugs in, mouth tape on. And he recently got us these like nasal dilators that open your nose more, and it's been a game changer for my health, honestly. If you wear like a trackable or an Oura ring, my stats have been so much higher when I use the nasal dilator. So I definitely have some airway obstruction issues that I'm aware of, but it's really fascinating that such a low cost purchase can change my sleep quality so much. So I can do a whole other video about sleep routine and sleep optimization, so we won't go into that here, but basically find all of the tools and techniques that help you optimize your sleep. So in general, that's cold, dark rooms, so get blackout curtains, quiet, or some people like white noise, different noise canceling sounds, depending on the noises in your house, outside your house, all of that. Yeah, and then have a consistent routine every day. And even though I like to do eye mask on by 10, there are some nights where the eye mask isn't on until 10:30, or if we host game night, then I'm probably going to bed closer to 11 or 12. But that's not very often, right? Maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. But in general, the consistency over time is what's key, not perfection. And that's kind of the message of this entire video, right? It's the small daily actions that we do consistently that really change the way we feel, and not just like being perfect and rigid every day and then beating ourselves up if we don't get it right one day. So we're sleeping, we're healing, so much great stuff is happening while we're asleep, and then it's time to wake up with the sun, ideally. Depending on where you are geographically, this isn't always possible throughout the entire year, but in general, waking up with the sun without an alarm is the most natural way to wake up. And a second option here is to get a sunrise alarm. So this is like an alarm clock that brightens over the course of like 30 minutes or so, and it acts like the sunrise. So your body can be triggered to start waking up naturally, or more naturally than with like a loud alarm clock that's just buzzing at you. So we have one of those. It's amazing. I love the sunrise alarm clock. I think, how did we even get to these loud buzzing alarm clocks? Why would someone even invent something like that? They're so wretched. So get the sunrise alarm clock. You won't regret it. I like to wake up between 6 to 7 a.m. depending on what time I went to bed the night before, but trying to get at least 8 hours of sleep. And from there, I will wake up, take off all my fixins, because I just told you I wear lots of stuff on my face when I sleep, and I will drink water immediately. I will move and stretch and do all of the waking my body up, shaking, and then I will grab my journal, grab my water, and go into my workout room and start my daily workout. So I do 3 to 4 days of strength training, 2 to 3 days of Pilates, and then lots of yoga, lots of mobility. A couple times a week, I will sauna after I exercise. So I schedule my day the night before, right? So depending on when I'm going to sauna, it changes the timeline of my day a little bit. But typically it's exercise, sweat, and then I shower, get ready for the day, and I come downstairs for breakfast. So if the sun rises before I'm done doing all of this stuff, let's say I wake up at 6:45 and the sun is rising at 7, I will do all of my journaling and drinking my water, and then I'll go outside with the sunrise or next to a window if it is negative 30 degrees, which I just experienced for the first time. So we do what we can with what we've got. But in general, going outside to witness the sunrise helps regulate the circadian rhythm, optimize our hormones, and promote high quality sleep and good energy. So morning sunlight exposure, evening sunlight exposure, those are 2 non-negotiables. Do them as many days per week as possible. And if you miss a day, it's okay, but just try to do a little bit more the next day. So sunrise and exercise kind of overlap depending on what time it is. And then I'll eat breakfast. So again, a balanced meal of protein, carbohydrates, healthy fats, lots of fiber. I don't drink caffeine with my breakfast. And then after breakfast, I will go for a walk or jump on the rebounder, do some dancing, whatever the case may be, to move my body for a few minutes. And then I shift into my first work block. So this is around 9 or 10 a.m. and I will work for a few hours, standing up every hour, drinking plenty of water, making sure I don't get too sucked into a screen for too long, making sure I'm looking at far distances versus close distances for my eye health. And I'll do that for 3 or 4 hours, eat lunch, balanced, protein, carbohydrates, fiber, healthy fats. And sometime in my morning window, depending on my mood and what's going on, I'll have a green tea, a matcha latte that I'll make at home, a black sesame latte. I don't really drink coffee anymore, but I used to drink coffee around this time too. So just waiting an hour or 2 after breakfast to drink a caffeinated beverage so that it doesn't interfere with my nutrient absorption, my energy levels. I want to make sure that my energy is already being optimized before I add something else in, right? And really that's just more of a ritual preference and not a need or a necessity for the caffeine. So morning work chunk, lunch, afternoon work chunk, 2 to 4 hours depending on what I'm working on and how many patients I have to see that day. And then I'll try to wrap up my day around 4 p.m., reflecting on everything I've done, and close the screens down, right? So ideally trying to be off all screens by 4 p.m., at the very latest 8 p.m. Sometimes I'll look at my phone at 9 or 10 p.m., right? If I forget to set the house alarm or whatever. But in general, not doing extended screen time after working hours. And yes, occasionally we will watch a movie or a funny show because we are human and that's okay. I have a challenge or a goal this year that I've set for myself to only watch approximately 2 hours of television per month. So I am tracking that and I will let you all know how that goes. But that's my goal, is about 2 hours per month. So I think that was really ambitious and I'll probably go over that, but we'll see. You know, it's just something that I'm tracking and I'm not being too hard on myself for it, but I read a stat a while ago actually that said people spend like 13 years of their life watching TV, and I was like, oh my god, I can't live with that. I cannot stomach the idea of 13 years of my life staring at a screen fantasizing about something else. So that's my own personal journey. I'll share more about it later if you all want an update of how that's going, but yeah, 2 hours per month right now is still going to be 24 hours in a year of watching TV, which is a whole day. So it's something that I'm working through in my conscious consumption experiment, and yeah, it's interesting. I'll maybe share more about that later. But anyway, so deep downtime, we're back into where we started, right? So when we set our evenings up in a way that is nourishing and supportive for the next day can be a lot easier, and that's probably the main takeaway here. So what happens if you have low energy? You don't feel like doing anything, you want to Netflix all day, you want to eat chocolate and drink whatever, and all of that. We all have our moments, we all have ebbs and flows of life, right? Like I said earlier, it's called being human, and we're allowed to not be perfect. So when energy is off, these are my absolute non-negotiables. Go outside. Literally walk outside on my back porch for a minute but I have to walk outside. Because when I don't walk outside, like step outside into nature, I become very sad and very disgruntled and very misaligned with who I am as a person. So I always step outside, even if just for a minute. Another non-negotiable is eating as much whole, real foods as I can. Even when I'm feeling low, even when I want to eat like a sweet treat, I still add in the veggies, the healthy fats, the fiber to balance that out. And I drink a lot of water throughout the day, so that's actually not a big problem for me. But for a lot of people who have low energy and then they're having a low energy day, they sometimes don't drink enough water. So prioritizing hydration is always important for energy balance and overall vitality. And then limiting screen time. Like I said, this is a big thing for me, but I think it should be more of a priority for more people based on what I hear from my patients and how they feel with more screen time. So something to consider and evaluate for your personal consumption and preferences, but definitely limiting screen time will help with low energy days. And then listening to your body more than your brain. So if your brain is like, I want to rest, I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't want to. Let your body guide you as well. So if your body is saying, I want to nap, take a nap. Take a 20-minute nap, take a 3-hour nap. But listen to your body and really tune into what's actually going on, right? Because sometimes we can be stubborn and resistant to whatever we don't want to do, but in reality we need something else. So having that body and mind awareness will really help when you're feeling low. And listen, I know that once you reclaim your energy, it can be really scary to have a low energy day or two, but it's okay. It's normal to have ebbs and flows in your energy and your mood. It's normal to not feel your very best all the time. And what's not normal is to just push through and push through and push through and grind and run ourselves into the ground, or spend months in a low energy state and not be able to get ourselves back up out of it. As human beings, we should be able to adapt and flex with the highs and lows of life. So low energy days are not failures. They're all information. As a woman, I know that my body is not designed for constant output. Our hormones, nervous system, and inner rhythms move in cycles. They ebb and flow up and down, and they are ever changing. There are days meant for creation and expansion, and there are days meant for rest and reflection and repair. We need all of it. Low energy is not your body betraying you, it's your body communicating with you. When we stop fighting our rhythms and start living in partnership with them, energy returns more steadily, creativity deepens, and vitality becomes sustainable, not something we have to force. Remember, your worth is not measured by your productivity. The slower days can be sacred too. So now that you have my optimal energy blueprint, you can take it and adapt it based on your life and your routine and your preferences, but that's kind of the framework that I'm working with, right? And that's the framework that I've guided a lot of my patients through that has really helped them. So take it, tweak it, make it your own, and then stick to it for at least 30 days. Try for 3 months, try forever, but just give yourself 1 day at a time, 30 days, see how you feel. In my next video, I'll be covering why most energy fixes fail and how to actually start reclaiming your energy naturally. So check that one out next.